I remember vividly, my tears dropping on the gray carpet on the top steps, Pop's giving me his best guess. Me confessing the burning question, stressing and concerning me and turning me to a wet mess. It's probably nothing, I get it, I'm aware. I know it's probably stupid to be scared, but these days are flying past us and nobody seems to care. It's like we're sprinting towards a brick wall we're pretending isn't there. What happens when we hit it? Do we split into a million bits, or do we come back as a bullfrog and talking ribbits? What is it? What is it? You got the answer, so give it, so give it, so give it, don't lie. What happens when we die? Dad says, Georgie, I'm just guessing from what I've been told. Probably thinking, how'd I raise this emo fucking 9-year-old? Since I'm sorta really not religious, it's a crapshoot, I'll roll a paradise. Although the thought of paradise is very nice, in my heart I know I don't believe in magic. So I'm thinking maybe death is like eternal TV static, or returning to the state before your birth, absorbed into the earth. The fewer hours left, the more they're worth. I admit that it's difficult to think about. I think everybody got a little bit of doubt. You don't get to hide from it even if you shout. Not a soul on the planet gets to wiggle out. And he said that I know that it's tough to take in some, but it's so early I can see her in a hurry. But don't worry, cause
that isn't for a long, long time. That isn't for a long, long time. That isn't for a long, long time. That isn't for a long, 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 long time.
Life moves fast, made the mistake of blinking 20 years past. Now I'm sitting in my living room in Brooklyn with my father. We don't bother doing Christmas in the Bay any longer. It's the first time that we've had this conversation. He says it's tough to take in. I know we're not quite ancient, but we reached the age where we should probably talk arrangements. We could take it several routes. We could sell the house. We can't work forever. Eventually money will run out. That's a spot. Taking a loan would help us cover, which would make it tougher to leave something for you and your brother. Stop, can't you see? Every meal that you paid for me, all this power to chase a dream, all this privilege not to crave riches, but it's plain to me the key fact is it's easy to act like cash needs jack shit if you never lack it. And the greatest honor I could have is to make a buck and pass back a fraction of all the happiness you gave to me. And I will never make you live where you don't aim to be ages, just data. We paint our story A to Z, then dip out, R.I.P. rip out. We tear out the pages, tear up the stage, and we take a seat, making a vacancy. Famous or not, we fade from the plot. Every day when a new night falls, right around the sun in this big blue ball, I get a bit further from the kid called Paul, and I get a bit closer to the big brick wall. But since inching up to that fence, I can run my fingers against all the bricks and mortar and sense that it's not so cold, it's so dense. And although I'm mournful, I'm known that I'm not immortal. I'm not banging in the stone, but I'm more headed through this portal. We're born to return to home, or we're born to be mincemeat. Everything dies except for papaya king hot dogs on 86th Street. Dad hands me a napkin, tells me it's been the same since the 50s. He didn't always love the city, but damn it, he'll miss me. How can you miss something after you leave? I agree that it's sad, but please don't dwell on it, Dad, because
that isn't for a long, long time. That isn't for a long, long time. That isn't for a long, long time. That isn't for a long, 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 long time.
what a tangle, what a strangling knot to be caught in, to be exiled here, to be stuck in Berlin with Vienna so near, yet so far from the emperor's ear. What a strange and impossible sum, to be old while to still be so young, to have sung before speaking a word, to be heard, to be hailed, then to fail, to be done, to love but to be so naive, to trust and to be so deceived, to mourn forlorn, to be torn from you, scorned for another who suffers no grief, to curse God seeking lightning and to still be ignored, to hide in this room not too rich to afford, to hear armies of creditors bang at the door, always yelling for more, and to have nothing to sell that could help, except for the Steinway that sits in the corner. For Arthur it all came too easily to learn the scales in every key, to play the etudes and the suites, the nocturnes and the fantasy, to master the sonatas, minuets and symphonies, to seek the truth in fits and starts, to strike the middle F like it's an arrow through the heart, to wing the right hand like a dove, the peaceful flutter of a dove, and with the left a violent shove, its will demand a shove, to needle gently yet relentlessly a steady foot upon the pedal, and to clench the iron fist inside the velvet glove, to learn to whisper and to scream. Whisper justifies the scream. To let each yearning finger breathe. No, nothing lives unless it breathes. To burn, to worship, to mislead, to pose a question with the pinky on a key. To flee, to fight, to bleed, to float in air, nothing silent underneath. To wrap those heavy knuckles on the gate to heaven till there's nothing to achieve. But to go retrieve the length of cable hidden in the cabinet, to metamorphosize a twisted rope into an alphabet, to lay the lazy sea upon the shabby wooden floor, to rise, to send the end across the top, to bend the sea into an S, to curve the tail beneath the S, to turn the tangle to a B, to hug the wretched rooter on the fiber suffocatingly, to rap again, to get the coil, seven loops, penetrate the yawning hoop, till the loser penetrates through, think that not until it's ready for the job it's gotta do, to toss the braid above the ceiling beam into a fix the noose, to bid adieu to all of you until there's nothing left to do but climb the chair, to cinch the collar, find the edge, to step into the air. Happening, my habits been coiling up a memory and trapping it right in the cavity of my ribs like the doors of a cabinet light. But you will hold on to a shadow just by grabbing it tight. Set it free and let it back in the light. Never out of my heart, even when out of my sight. Leaving is supposed to be hard, man, I thought it was so selfish and people I love to keep falling out of my life. But now I know, no, I don't take it personal. If you got a really lovely place to go, I will chase my goals, yeah, to make me whole. Cause it's urgent, we love and be loved. I'll be gonna scrub up with detergent to shine up my soul.
Don't let my ghost drag you down. If you don't see me around, it doesn't mean that I fell. Yeah, I'm doing well, I've got some roses to smell. I hope you smile when I'm gone.
Every screen that we type is screaming, the bigger is better. Better is how you make yourself matter, but matter is fleeting. I'm a living, defeated machine that I'm blind to see. No point of hiding my pride if there's no privacy. I've already dedicated too much of my time to trying to get my followers. I've been crying out for attention and sleeping around a mend a hollow crater inside of me, knowing well that it don't mean shit. Going to the well for another cheap dopamine hit. I'm done being a bitch to ambition, I'm already rich. I got a head that's full of $1 million questions, and the length of it is I don't need the courage to work, I want the strength to quit.
Don't let my ghost drag you down. If you don't see me around, it doesn't mean that I fell. I'm doing well, I've got some roses to smell. I hope you smile when I'm gone. Means I had the strength to move on, to find another story to tell. Answer the bell, I've Arthur stepped off, yeah, he stepped off of the chair. Couldn't weigh 140 pounds. But the rope snapped, yeah, the rope snapped. And then Arthur found himself looking up from the ground. Looking up, found things looking up, looking not so down, no, not so down, no. Knots don't have to stay that way, no, not so tightly wound. What a lovely thing it is to fail, to release those grasping fingernails. Arthur thought the end was near. Then Arthur played for 50 years. And then my father walked down 8th and 57th Street to Carnegie Hall. Yeah, it was Carnegie Hall. The show was past sold out for weeks, but they said if you don't mind sitting on stage, sometimes we release a couple seats. 20 feet, yeah, my dad's 23. 20 feet from the hands on the keys, yeah, the hands on the keys, yeah, the hands of a man who almost didn't exist, to see. Back in 97 when dad was my chauffeur, he'd play the radio and I'd try to guess the composer. Chopin sprinkled over the hum of the motor. When I was young, I'd never doubt my composure. Everything's kosher, man, I was so sure I'd say that I'm good. Don't want no adulthood, I never understood. Couldn't get how anyone would ever wanna end their life until the day that I could. I heard it said we're alone in the ether, that we're the only intelligent creatures. So you don't need to adjust your receivers. If they were out there, they'd be texting us, hitting our beepers, invading us on some alien Julius Caesar, or begging, take me to your leader. But I got a theory, it's neither. That there's a billion brilliant alien planets at leisure, smoking alien reefer. The evolution of the mind's not the hunger to conquer, or to want, or to seek, or to wander, or even wonder, but simply to be, until we cease to be any longer. There's nothing wrong with heavy eyelids. I hope you enjoyed my 20s as much as I did. You'll never know how much that all of you provided, and I'm gonna try to do the same for my kids.
That'd be hysterical. That'd be and you're bleeding out your arm. You're missing an eye. You're right. I have you on the floor just slapping you in the butt with this bleed. Outside on the sidewalk. Call me daddy. Call me daddy. Too excited. Family friendly. Yeah. No, I've never said anything. It's for the kids at home. Yeah. Glass inside. Yeah, no, it was good. So these fans can cool you off as you're sweating. Hugger shoes that are basically. That's your job, isn't it? I've seen those. Those look like water shoes, actually. Yeah, water shoes. I think would be fun. Do you think we should do it like 3 or 4 times? At least. I mean, then we'll have it down. I think. Yeah, it's a pretty solid idea. I was missing some spots conducting too. Yeah. It looks so like. Oh yeah. His whole body just. According to Ryan, has no foot odor. I have. No. That makes sense. He never smelled. No, they're all talking. Oh, they are, yeah. Ryan's talking to himself. Called his wife on the phone, talking to his wife. Dude, he's actually right there right now. I know, that's kind of ignoring him. Right, that's what I was. Yeah. You're the classic one. Ryan, how'd you feel? That's a good idea. Yeah. Respond. Right. You could be handing out candy to people. Yeah, sure, John, how's your sex life? So very romantic. Oh yeah, my mom's watching. Yeah. Who can guess what movie that? You know composers. There was 40-Year-Old Virgin. The Room. Have you seen The Room? No.
book, like the guy that plays Mark wrote a book about, and then
I thought
James
that if I
Franco bought
get
the rights
married,
for the book.
I might not change my
I've
name.
seen that really dark room, room, that one with the
I know
little girls
somebody
locked in.
Well, that's Room, not the Room. It's a
Oh.
completely different.
Well, the clothes, the clothes.
That's a very different. No, it's not close at all.
I hope one's funny though, the other one's funny.
Yeah, one's funny. Yeah,
The room is probably the best fashion.
it's yeah. I think the best part is when they chant "fuck that navel."
Watsky's